walk away. You don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go.
These videos are satiric reviews. You don't have to agree, but don't bitch about it.
Hey there, I'm SIJW, and today we continue our Kingdom Hearts marathon with its next installment, Chain of Memories. A game I couldn't wait to get my hands on as a kid. A game for a handheld system I didn't even own at the time. I had to beg my parents to buy me a Game Boy Advance just so I could later beg them to get me this game. And once I finally had it in my hands, I never put a hand on it again. Never bothered, never played it, didn't want anything to do with it. Despite loving the original, I couldn't get it all into this game when I first played it as a kid. And it wasn't just the jump from PlayStation to Game Boy Advance that put me off. What's this, a card system? I came here to play Final Fantasy, not fucking Uno. The story didn't immediately pull me in. I was a bit confused, and after a day or so, I just kind of put my Game Boy Advance in the closet and... I never meant to hurt you. Tonight, I'm cleaning out my closet. All these years later, I finally played it again. Although this time in its remastered version for the PlayStation 4. And you know what? I'm actually kind of glad that I did. I'll be covering this game a little bit differently than I covered the first one this time around. So no more dudes in cowboy hats barely singing the opening song. I know, I'm sorry guys, but that's it. It's done. You know what? It's just that simple and clean. The game starts out with a montage of the previous game. Oh, hey, I remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that happening too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember all that shit. The game picks up exactly where the last game ended off. As the worlds are separated, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are seemingly lost until they come across Pluto with another one of the King's notes. Whoa, wait a second. What the fuck happened to Donald and Goofy's clothes? I know that this is usually their casual attire, but this isn't what they wore in the first game. This is what they wore in the first game's demo. You know what, Hakuna Matata, no worries, I don't give a shit. I'll try not to nitpick as much because, I mean, it's like we're gonna have 45 hours of gameplay. So there's a long road ahead of us. No, I mean literally, there's a long road ahead of us. Hopeful of finding their friends, they follow Mouse's best friend.
Along the road ahead lies something you need.
And I fucking knew the man in black from Halloween 5 was behind all this. And look, he's already using his teleporting trick that he taught Michael. It's all coming together now. Eventually they stumble upon a giant castle dubbed Castle Oblivion.
Hey, you think it's okay to barge in?
No, Goofy, it's not. What you're doing is a crime. And it's called breaking and entering. Although I think it's fair to say that it's by time that this castle got some new guards, because y'all just walked right in there. They're lured to the lair by the collective thought that their respective friends would somehow be there.
If we're gonna find the king. The king? King Mickey's here?
Something just told me he'd be here.
I was kinda thinking the same thing.
Me too. One look at this castle, and I just knew. Our very best friends. They're here.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound suspect.
Wait, hey, hold on. It can't be just a coincidence.
The fuck did you just say to me? Thank you, Jiminy, the voice of reason here.
I had the exact same feeling.
Something screwy. We gotta go take a look.
Nope, never mind. Jiminy's useless.
That's it. Who are you?
Sora, no. Sora, no. You can't just go entering into a strange castle and then draw a weapon on the first person you come across. I mean, that'd be like me going inside someone's house, then taking a gun out on them when they come home. He belongs there. You don't. It isn't long before they realize something's wrong.
Sora! Come on. Sora! Sora! Blizzard! Fire!
The moment you set foot in this castle, you forgot every spell and every ability you ever knew.
I'm sorry, the fuck did you just say?
In this place, to find is to lose, and to lose is to find.
Oh, well, thank you, Shakespeare. But how does that help me with my Kiraga and my Simba summons?
Here you will meet people that you have known in the past, and you will meet people you miss.
Riku! You mean Riku's here?
God damn, Kairi, how's that shoulder feeling? Kinda cold, huh? Kinda cold, I'd bet. Shit, no wonder most people ship Sora and Riku together over Sora and Kairi. I had a funny bit here where I was going to show you some of the DeviantArt that has been made of that, but after looking at it, I decided I'm going to spare you. So, you're welcome for that. You're welcome. Now, I don't know exactly what just happened there, but I'm pretty sure Sora can press charges. Though, it might be harder to prove considering, again, they're breaking and entering. So, I guess no one's right in this situation.
I merely sampled your memories, and from them, I made this.
What's this? A card?
Wow, looks like we got a regular Albert Frankenstein over here. He knows his shit, this guy. The figure explains that each floor in the castle represents a world based on Sora's memories, and that everything inside Castle Oblivion is card-based. Unlike my first video where I barely mentioned the gameplay, it'd be near impossible to do the same here, as they've completely retooled the combat system to be that of a card game. Oh great, a Kingdom Hearts card game. That's what I always wanted. I know when I was playing the first game, dueling Ansem, sealing keyholes, finding lost Dalmatians, I know the one thing I was thinking. The one thing I was thinking the whole time is, where's the fucking cards? Finally, this game is a dream come true. This is actually what took me out of the game to begin with as a kid. I wasn't interested in learning how to strategically take down my enemies. I instead wanted to button mash my way to the top. And I found out very quickly, well, that just wasn't doable. Or so I thought. While replaying, I realized the card system isn't actually all that complicated. It's pretty relatively easy to use. And, of course, abused later in time. At first, it's a bit of a challenge with the restriction on what you can and can't do in battle. It becomes very annoying very quickly, and it makes you yearn for the days when you could just attack freely or cast Cure without having to reload a deck of cards. But like I said, it's relatively easy to understand, and the more you level up, the easier the game becomes. I played the game on Proud Mode and beat it with ease. As a matter of fact, I never had to face any of the bosses more than once, except for Vexen. I had to face him numerous times.
Your existence is worth nothing!
And you have to face him twice. Do you know how many times I had to face him? You wanna know? Just take a guess. I had to face him 8 times. Collectively. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like a lot. Or at least it doesn't to me, because I suck. But he just has a bar of health that won't quit. But we'll get to him later. If the card system kept you away as a kid, revisit this as an adult. And I'm sure you'll find it's just pretty simple. I would say clean, but I already used that joke. I ain't doing it twice. That's not what I'm here for. And it's actually kind of fun. While they recycle the same bosses from the first game for the most part, the game makes you use new innovative ways to defeat them this time around, meaning your same strategies for the first gameplay won't work with the second. The cards aren't just for battling, though. They also open new areas for you in each world that you travel to, and depending on which card you choose, you can determine what's on the other side of the door. Maybe you want to level up, then you choose a room full of Heartless. Maybe you want to take it easy, choose a room with less Heartless. If you want to slow down, save your progress, choose a room with a save sphere. If you want more item or attack cards, set up a treasure room or a Moogle store room. And so on and so forth. Your attacks, your magic, your items, and even your friends. All cards. They're just fucking cards. Everything's cards. As I said before, you follow Pluto to a castle where a hooded guy probes you for your memories. You travel from floor to floor, exploring each world that you did in the first game, except for Deep Jungle, because fuck Tarzan. And I'm serious, he will not be appearing in this game or any future Kingdom Hearts games after this.
In the arms of the angel, fly away.
So you go from world to world, finding out that the people in each world have no recollection of you whatsoever. Leon, Aerith, Yuffie, Aladdin, Alice, Peter Pan, this fucking guy, none of them know who you are. Which shouldn't come as a shock, because none of these characters are actually the characters you meet in Kingdom Hearts. They're your memories of these characters. And you're without Jiminy's expert journalism from the first game, as somehow his book has been wiped clean.
Oh, my entries! They're gone. Every page is blank. How could this have happened? I'm so careful with the journals.
All your adventures in the first game, gone. Bye-bye. Gone.
All that hard work is gone.
Jesus, game, was that really necessary? I mean, listen to the poor guy. He's really broken up about that.
All that hard work is gone.
I want out. The cricket's crying, and this got all too real all too soon. So now you travel through all the memory worlds, minus Deep Jungle, because again, fuck Tarzan. Meet the same people all over again, and this time, instead of beating all the Heartless with the Keyblade, you do with cards of Keyblades. Essentially, you're playing the same game you did before, but slightly different. You go to each Disney World, interrupt the classics, help the hero, beat the bad guy, but with cards. You pick up items, Keyblades, gain party members, and summons that you can use in battle, but again, all as cards. Discover new locations, learn new abilities, go back to the worlds, collect everything you couldn't the first time around, and of course, it's cards. They're all fucking cards. They're cards. They're cards. There's so much talk of cards in this game that honestly, I'm surprised Yugimoto didn't turn up and ask somebody to duel.
It's time to do.
What's this? A card?
Remember how in the first game you traveled to all the Disney worlds and they seemed like condensed versions of the originals? Well, this time around, they feel like condensed versions of the Disney originals. Though I will admit they do correct some of the problems the first game's version of events didn't care to. Like this time around, Jafar actually told Aladdin to go get the lamp. The first half of the game mostly feels like a retread of the one that came before it. So much so that it's almost painful. I mean, sure, I get that that's the point of all this, but isn't it a little bit too soon and feeling nostalgic? I mean, this is only the second game in the series. Why did we need to go back and be like, hey, you remember the first one? It was a really good game, right? Right? Like, be something new. Do something different. Which makes sense when you take into account that the creator of this game wanted to give handheld gamers a chance to play the first game before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. So rather than make a port for the Game Boy Advance, he instead made a sequel where the first half of the game is playing through just the first game. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. You guys get the point, right? It's just the same game over. Of course, I am exaggerating here. The game does manage to make things different enough than the first game to keep you invested throughout. Like now, instead of shoehorning the word heart into every Disney story, they harp in the word memories. Hell, they even integrate memories into the plot. For example, Cloud yet again plays henchman to Hades, but not because he's looking for Aerith or Sephiroth or whoever the fuck, but instead because Hades has promised to restore his lost memories. And I'm sure the poor guy just wants to know how he went from looking like this to this. In Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts puts Alice on trial for stealing her memories. In Halloween Town, Dr. Fickelstein, I don't care, is trying to apply what he calls true memories to the Heartless to give them more feeling. So basically, the first game, again, just swapping the word heart for memories. That's it.
Although...
The Agrabah level holds up a lot better than the Agrabah story in the original, as they included all the important moments that they skimmed past in the first game. And even the Olympus Coliseum, I think, is equally or maybe slightly better than it was in the original too, as it includes a lot more Cloud. The biggest change in the story, though, comes later on in the game when you head to Hollow Bastion. It's there you find the big plot twist of the game. Belle's a bitch in this continuity. Though to be fair, maybe her time away from the beast has bettered her Stockholm Syndrome and now she's just pissed. Well, actually no. She's only putting up a front because Maleficent has kidnapped Belle in order to get to the beast? Though it makes you think if she could just teleport people like she did here, you know, it just makes you wonder why she wouldn't have just, you know, kidnapped the beast herself, but alright, you do you. Well, anyway, Belle berates the beast in order to try and save him, and eventually actually winds up sacrificing herself for him. That's not how I remember it going down in the first game, but no worries, because one boss fight later, and Belle is brought back. For some reason. Look, don't ask questions that the writing room clearly wasn't. Apparently also Beast can just be summoned by saying his name. Like he's like fucking Beetlejuice now. The second biggest plot twist in the game is, you don't need to be a merman to go to Atlantica. Apparently Sora's just really good at holding his breath. I mean, look at this kid, not even 16 years old, and he's gotta be going for some kind of record here. Oh, and hey, you remember back in the first game how the 100-Acre Wood was full of a bunch of optional mini-games? How would you like to replay every one of those mini-games all over again? Oh, you wouldn't? Well, too bad, because now it's mandatory. You also visit a place called Twilight Town, and despite having never actually been there, it still appears as a world based off Sora's memories. But for this game, I'll admit that it kinda seems out of place, outside of giving us a glimpse into the next game in the franchise. In terms of Chain of Memories though, its importance isn't really there. There really isn't any significant importance to it. You know, outside of adding to my frustration in trying to face Vexen a second time.
As if I'd ever lose to you!
I wouldn't be so sure.
Again, and again, and again. Seriously, fuck that guy. All the scenes from the memory worlds are played out in dialogue bubbles, meaning this game requires a fair amount of reading, while the real cutscenes are saved for within the Castle Oblivion floors.
Hello!
In which we learn the dynamic of the mysterious organization that watches over Sora's every move. Okay, so now I'm halfway through this review, and I've really only showed you a recap with slight changes of the first game. I mean, I haven't really gone in depth with the plot. So I guess in that regard, this review is a lot like the actual game. On the actual floors is where the story takes place. Although it has a slow start and the time spent in the memory worlds distances the main story from the actual gameplay, the battles against organization members are far and few in between. Until the end of the game, where they just start coming out of nowhere, with each boss testing the Keyblade Master's strengths differently. During these scenes and fights, you get a real feel for who the organization members are. You have Vexen, the chilly academic. He's annoying to listen to and even more annoying to battle, but I've said enough.
Who am I? Oh, my name's Axel.
Axel, the flurry of dancing flames. He's an over-the-top charismatic character with a fiery personality. And I mean that in more ways than one. He's also the most memorable character in the whole organization, and you know what, let's just say it, in the whole game.
Got it memorized? Sure.
Larxene, the savage nymph, who's basically Harley Quinn in a hoodie. She's manipulative and malicious, just like my last girlfriend. And also, more than likely, just like my next girlfriend. I have a problem. And Marluxia, the graceful assassin, the pseudo-leader of this group. He's the man with pretty pink hair who throws roses at you. Although, it actually kind of works for him. It's not the worst look. He may be the only character in video game history who could pull off pink hair and flowers and still come off as somewhat intimidating.
Imbeciles.
Of course, there are more members to the organization, but these are the only ones that Sora encounters on his journey. The organization are a bunch of nobodies. And I don't mean that in an insulting manner, I'm sorry if you took it that way, but that's actually what they call themselves. And in this game, they really don't go into a great explanation or detail of what a nobody is, probably because the next game in the series is going to cover that. So I'm just gonna put this clip of Axel talking briefly about it right here.
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are.
What are you? What are you people?
I wonder about that myself.
Like that creepy castle we explored together. The one with all those weird contraptions.
When was that?
I can't remember.
Goofy, sure you didn't make it up?
I don't think so.
Pretty early on, you learn that as you travel from floor to floor, you lose more and more memories. Regardless, Donald and Goofy, hopeful to find their friend in King Mickey, and Sora, hopeful to find his friends from the island, take that very risk, traveling from floor to floor and world to world in Castle Oblivion. The organization vaguely warns you of what's to come, which is really nice of them, actually. You know, not every villain comes with a warning label.
Be forewarned. When your sleeping memories awaken, you may no longer be who you are now.
Though, like most villains, they never stop monologuing. And when they're not monologuing to the hero, they're monologuing amongst themselves. Great.
Look, a good luck charm Kairi gave me. It's special to her. So I promised that I would return it. I'll never forget making that promise. It's why I could never forget Kairi.
Keep these exact words in mind for later. I feel like him saying this might come back around to bite him in the ass later.
Am I right, Kairi? Huh? Oh?
You know, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and put up this poorly edited picture I made right here. Just gonna stick that right here on my YouTube refrigerator.
It seems that you're still forgetting the most important thing here.
Despite losing memories floor to floor, Sora actually begins to remember something. He begins to remember the girl that he knew from his home, Destiny Islands. Except that girl isn't Kairi, or Selfie, or even Titus with his Meg Ryan haircut. Look at that. It's a girl named Namine. His memory of her becomes stronger over time, from vaguely remembering her existence, to her appearance, to her name.
When that poor girl hears that you've forgotten her name, why, it'll break her heart.
To finally having complete memories of her. He even comes across a good luck charm that she gave him.
Is that thing mine?
What a shame! You've been wearing it all this time and forgot?
Namine gave me this. It's very important to me. She was quiet and always drawing. I remember Riku and I fighting over who she'd draw next.
He has such a strong memory of her that Kairi's name only gets mentioned in passing once or twice, and Namine becomes Sora's primary focus. Eventually, the organization members alert Sora that Namine is being held captive.
Is she here?
Yes, she is. You see, the bad guys are holding her captive, somewhere deep inside the castle.
They've got Namine! We gotta rescue her!
After hours of gameplay, Sora comes across a familiar face. It's Riku! Riku's back!
See, nobody cares.
Not happy to see me? Let me know if I'm getting in the way. You know, of something that's more important.
Riku's back! And he's still a dick.
Spare the excuses. I bet that you had all but forgotten about me.
Come on! I came all this way looking for you!
It's only Namine that you're looking for.
And apparently, he too has a great recollection of Namine.
Tell you the truth, Namine doesn't even want to look at your face.
Kairi's main dude and side piece both just up and left her for the same chick on the same day. Kairi, you're not even here to take this, but you get a big L.
Riku.
Go home, Sora. I'll care for Namine.
Riku, much like in the first game, lies somewhere between a possessive dick and possessed dude.
What's wrong with you? We're supposed to be friends!
Please, Sora. Since when have you ever cared about me?
Much like when I attend my family functions, a fight breaks this reunion up all too soon.
Lose?
And after that ass whooping, Riku just up and leaves. He gets the hell out of Dodge. They quickly come to the conclusion that Riku's being controlled again. Right, because, you know, Riku's never acted like a dick before this point.
You don't have what it takes to save Kairi.
I'm the one who fought my way here with the Keyblade.
You were just the delivery boy. Here, go play hero with this.
Oh wait, no, he always has been. This is literally his first scene in the first game. This is the first time you see him, and this is what he does.
So, I guess I'm the only one working on the raft. And you're just as lazy as he is.
Riku is now, and has always been, a dick. But as it turns out, they were right, as Riku's actually being controlled by Vexen.
I think testing Sora is just a cover for testing your valet.
Valet? He's the product of pure research.
What he actually is a toy.
However, Vexen's Riku served as an interference to Marluxia's plans, so Marluxia orders Axel to eliminate the traitor, which he does, and quite fantastically also.
No! Please don't! I don't want to!
Goodbye.
That nigga is dead! D-U-D! Dead! Dead! You are dead!
As it would turn out, the organization's plan wasn't a group effort, as both Marluxia and Larxine's planning is actually somewhat of a mutiny.
Sora is the key. We need him if we're going to take over the organization.
Taking over the organization will be like child's play with the three of us.
In an attempt to overthrow the actual organization and lead it exclusively themselves, they had Namine rewrite Sora's memory to lure him to the castle's top, losing all his memories throughout so that they could basically try to turn him into their own puppet. It's complicated planning. You meet with Riku again, only to find that without his puppet master, he's still a dick. He's just always gonna be this way. There's no changing it.
I'm protecting Namine from you. That's what's in my heart. I made a promise to Namine. I promised to keep her safe.
You did?
It's who he was born to be. But it seems that Riku shares more than just his women with Sora, because he also shares the same exact memory that Sora has of this woman. Girl. Namine.
There was a meteor shower. Namine got scared and said, "What if a shooting star hits the islands?" So I told her, if a shooting star comes this way, I will protect you.
That was the promise I made to her that night. I would protect her. I said it. That was when she gave her good luck charm to me. See?
That must be a fake. I've got the real one right here.
And they both also have Namine's good luck charm. And I don't mean to be that guy, but where exactly did Riku just pull that out of? I mean, the fact that his pants lack pockets and the suspicious placement of his hand, I mean, this whole thing is just honestly really putting me off.
I've got the real one right here. That must be a fake. Fake should be destroyed!
Keep this exact line of dialogue in mind. I feel like it's gonna come back to bite him in the ass a little bit later on. After losing, once again, Riku runs off. Again. Because why solve a problem when you could just run from it? Continually. Donald Duck speaks for the entire audience playing this game or watching this review.
I don't understand what's going on.
Eventually, Donald and Goofy come to their senses and attempt to help Sora come to his. But instead, he storms off like a child, which he actually, I guess, kind of is, technically.
How can two of you have the same memory?
Then let's ask Namine. That should clear it up.
Always get real touchy when it comes to stuff about Namine. But before we came to this castle, you didn't even remember what her name was.
Namine's the only thing you talked about.
You want me to abandon her?
But instead, he storms off to the next floor and the next memory world, Destiny Islands.
Sora, that was no way to...
Keep it to yourself!
Sora heads back to Destiny Islands where he meets up with all his old friends, who don't seem all that disturbed that he doesn't remember their names. They're just kind of like, it's alright, he's a bit thick in the head, isn't he? They vaguely reference Kairi, referring to her only as her, which undoubtedly only plays into Sora's delusions of Namine. Also, why would Sora have a hard time recognizing Riku? He literally just beat him multiple times before coming to this floor world. I mean, I get it. I get that he's losing his memories, but I would think that the memories he's losing are a little bit more distant than less than an hour ago. Not long into your homecoming is your world again swallowed by darkness. After a boss fight, Namine makes her presence known. Though I must admit, she's kinda sending mixed signals here.
Sora, you really came for me. Yes, I wanted to see you too. But this isn't right. I messed up. I was lonely for so long. I called out to your heart and had you come all the way out to this place.
I'm here because I promised that I would protect you.
Sora. Thank you. And I'm not supposed to be in this picture. That isn't me. I'm not there. I don't really exist inside your heart. I never have existed anywhere.
Weren't we inseparable? Always together? But then you had to go away. I came here so I'd never lose you again. You gave this to me, didn't you?
You have it. My good luck charm. No, Sora! You can't believe me! Think just one more time about who's most special to you.
Who's most special to me? That's an easy one. It's you, Namine.
Namine attempts to explain herself, but she's immediately cut off by Riku, who's there to update you that he's still a dick. Thanks for that. You beat him again, but instead of running away this time, he manages to somehow gain the upper hand. In an attempt to save Sora, Namine crashes Riku's mind hard drive, before Larxene shows up to explain the plot to us. And that's not a bad role to have either, you know, Morgan Freeman's made a living off it, so kudos to you. Larxene explains that the Riku you've met in Castle Oblivion isn't the real Riku at all. He's a duplicate created by Vexen using Namine.
Fake in every possible way. You get it? Its memories with Namine were just planted, not real.
And Jesus Christ, Disney, getting kind of dark with the imagery there. She just carelessly picked up a corpse and just tossed it like it was nothing. I mean, this isn't a game that has Donald Duck and Goofy as two of its main characters. How did this make it to the final cut? I want to know. Larxene also explains that Namine's been manipulating Sora's memories the whole time. As a matter of fact, Namine never lived on the island, and her and Sora never knew each other.
Our only chance to turn the Keyblade Master into our puppet, but that jerk Axel, he used Namine to betray us.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
If you don't stop this, no one will. Say, Namine, have you noticed Marluxia doesn't seem to be around?
What are you saying?
Just that there's no one here who would want to get in your way.
So in case you weren't following this very elaborate story, neither is most of the audience. But Organization 13 is an organization made up of 13 nobodies. Again, not saying that as an insult, that's how they're referred to. Larxene and Marluxia have been conspiring against the rest of the group, plotting their own hostile takeover. While Axel has been working with the two conspiring organization members, it seems that he's been pulling the old Benedict Arnold. Axel's been conspiring against the conspirers. I don't care, move on. Namine tries to prevent Larxene from going after Sora, but it's no use. As she prepares to battle, Donald and Goofy rush to his aid. You defeat Larxene, and Sora and Namine share some words.
No, I refuse to lose. To such a bunch of losers.
Congratulations, Sora! You finally found your friend! I'm so happy for you!
Goofy, body language. Body language, dude. Read the room.
But could you tell us what happened?
Of course. It's my fault after all. I took the people and memories that were inside Sora's heart, and little by little I replaced them with false memories. It was fake. Sora never really promised me anything. We never met. I was never Sora's friend.
Is there any way for us to ever get him back?
I can fix everything. If we go to the 13th floor.
Now, Sora, think about this. I don't know if I trust it. Alright, following a girl up to the 13th floor already sounds fishy as it is. I mean, most buildings don't even have 13 floors. They go from 12 to 14, skip 13 entirely. Maybe there's a reason for that. But back to the issue at hand. Following this stranger who's already proven to have made up an entire fake past for herself? I don't know. I don't know, man. This is how dudes end up losing kidneys. Sora forgives Namine, knowing that she too is only a pawn in someone else's master plan.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. Please don't cry.
Oh, I know I really don't have the right to.
That's not what I meant.
What?
I'm really not happy about you messing with my memories. I can't really get mad at you for it either.
It's then that Sora and company agree to follow her up to the final floor in order to regain their memories, knowing that they'll first have to put an end to the man with the plan, and pink hair, Marluxia. But if Sora's looking to get his hands on Marluxia, he'll have to step in line.
You have some nerve to show your treasonous face around here.
Treasonous? I don't know what you could possibly be talking about.
Why let Namine go? We could have turned the Keyblade Master to come and serve us.
Oh, right, your big plan. You use Namine to rewrite Sora's memory, and he turns into her total puppet. Using Namine and Sora together, you and Larxene overthrow the organization. I would say that you are the traitor, Marluxia.
So you only eliminated Vexen to obtain proof of our plan.
That I didn't want to do, but it was your order. Remember the order. You must eliminate the traitor.
The two go back and forth before Sora arrives, at which point Marluxia strategically uses Namine as his own human shield. Of course, knowing that Sora, despite being misled and lied to, won't let any harm come to her.
Are you listening, Sora?
Oh?
Axel says he's willing to harm Namine to get me.
You're Marluxia's puppet already?
After I finish you, he's next.
So you cool down Axel before looking to pick Marluxia's flower petals. Puns, I've got them. I don't even think those count as puns, but whatever.
It was worth saving you after all.
Saving me? What do you mean?
Sorry, I would hate to kill the suspense.
Oh, bravo, encore. I mean, he might as well have just said, I'll see you in the sequel.
The Keyblade's power. How I've longed to make it my own.
Let Namine go!
Erase Sora's memory. Sora's heart will be destroyed.
Marluxia commands Namine to erase the little that's left of Sora's memory. Namine declines standing up for Sora, vowing to protect him this time around.
No. Sora forgave me even when I deceived him. I don't care what happens to me. I won't hurt Sora!
Just then the Riku replica, who for all intents and purposes was previously thought to be dead, shows back up.
It can't be!
The replica vows to keep his false promise to protect Namine, even though she's the one who mind-crushed him earlier. Weird. So you take on Marluxia in one of the more annoying fights in the game. What with how he teleports around like he's auditioning for the X-Men. And after the battle, you find out that it's all bullshit.
What you destroyed was merely an illusion of me.
Yup, all that hard work just to find out that your Marluxia is in another castle. Or more accurately, on another castle floor. Meaning you'll have to fight him all over again.
This is the final battle!
Riku, protect Namine.
You head to the final room where you proceed to take on the real Marluxia and all his different forms. For one reason or another, I didn't really struggle with these battles the way I did with, say, Vexen. I mean, personally, I just kind of spammed my way to victory toward the end. I just wanted to be done with this game and move on with my life. Regardless, you beat Marluxia, destroying him in the process. After the battle, Replica Riku denounces himself as a fake, before Sora basically decides to hit him with the speech from the end of the first Pokemon movie.
Who cares if someone created you? You are you and nobody else. You have your own heart inside you.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Sora, you're a good guy.
Namine explains that in order for Sora, Donald, and Goofy to regain their lost memories, they'd have to enter the sleeping chambers. However, should he choose to regain his original memory, he won't be able to retain his memories from Castle Oblivion.
You won't be able to remember anything about what happened here.
Wait a second, if he goes into the sleeping pods, he falls asleep, and forgets this whole game ever existed? Isn't that just a dream sequence ending with more steps? Doesn't that make this entire game pointless? Did I just spend 45 hours of my life that I'll never get back for absolutely nothing?
You're all out of time, bitch! Boom!
I'm sorry. It's the only way, I'm afraid. You have a choice. You can lose your memories of this castle and reclaim your old ones, or keep your memories here and give up the memories that you've lost.
Sora, of course, chooses the original continuity, which is a wise choice, because the fans all would much rather remember Kingdom Hearts 1 than Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Nobody needs to keep a bunch of memories that aren't real, right? You want to remember all of the people who are really important to you.
I'll just make a big note in my journal. And it will say, thank Namine.
Wait, Jiminy, that's it? That's all you're gonna write? It's not really descriptive. I mean, you do realize that that's not going to mean shit when you wake up and you all don't know who Namine is. Also, why wouldn't that note be erased? As erasing memories deleted all the previous journal entries. Why wouldn't her erasing your memories again erase that note in your journal, just like it did the first time around? And if that note in your journal actually sticks around this time, then why would you even need it? Jiminy, you've been writing in the journal the entire game. I've looked at it. So many questions, and so few answers. Sora promises that he'll look for Namine, despite knowing that he'll no longer remember her. The pods close and Sora's memories start to come back to him, including his memory of her.
Kairi!
And that is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And what could you say about it? I mean, it's much better than I expected, but I don't think it lived up exactly to the expectations. I mean, it doesn't really hold a candle to the original, does it? It was fun to go back and play the original game differently this time around, using a completely new strategy and card system, and the system itself was easy to use, and it became more fun over time. The dialogue was... it was awful. It was terrible. In the most camptastic way, of course.
You see, the bad guys are holding her captive, somewhere deep inside the castle. And you obviously are the hero, so you have to go save her. I'm a bad guy, so you have to go through me.
But it was memorable nonetheless. No pun intended. But its ending is anything but satisfying. I get that this was set up so that Kingdom Hearts fans can go from 1 to 2 without ever having to get a Game Boy Advance to play the middle game, but it kind of makes everything leading up to this feel just a little bit more pointless. In conclusion, I'm glad I gave this game another shot, but I don't think I'll ever play it again. So with that being said, I'm the Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you like the words that came out of my mouth hole and you too want to become a VTard, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more where this video came from. Follow me on Twitter because, hell, why not? It's not considered stalking if it's on the internet, am I right? And don't forget to join the Discord. I don't have anything catchy to add to that, but just join it. Just go do it. And if you have a free moment of time and a free $1 to spare, then head over to my Patreon, where for just $1, you too could help keep this boat afloat. And if you don't have that $1, but you do have a free moment of time, then hit the share button. It will help me out tremendously.
The V-tart, oh.
But wait, there's more. After beating this game, you're rewarded with a follow-up where you play as Riku. So I guess I'll see you next week.